Well, hello everybody. I'm still grounded from live uh, privilege option, whatever it is, for TikTok until 2 o'clock this afternoon. I might use the live option anyway. So I'm going to use the 10-minute version of a recording. The things about recording is you can re-record or whatever, do over, and you can share it pretty easily. Live option, not so easily. If you go so long, you can't get the whole video downloaded. I have tried to download a whole hour to share to YouTube and Facebook, but it doesn't work very well. So today, I'm just meditating. It's been a good day. Started out well. A lot of peace, lots and lots of peace out of all the things that I can have in any way, shape, or form. No matter if it's trials, no matter if it's blessings, no matter if it seems like I'm on top of the world. If I can just have peace through it all. And we got a lot of stuff going on, I'm not whining or complaining. It's just how it is. But God is good. He sees us through it all. He's never yet failed to provide the things that He promises. And no matter who's in charge, God is in control. Doesn't matter who that is. So I'm just kind of thankful today. Just trying not to overthink, trying not to get into too much of anything. It's just calm and peace. And I guess is that Isaiah 40 or 43? Is it? Those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength like the eagle. They will soar like an eagle. They will walk, not go faint. Something of that nature. I just probably tore that verse up. Thing about getting older, the dictionaries kind of fades. And I don't know if it just fades is because you store so much information. It's hard to just go all through it again, And remember everything, especially when all the thoughts in the world generally come after you. But to have peace with God and to be a servant of peace, to teach peace. And sometimes that just comes with standing still. And sometimes that comes with standing firm. And standing firm sometimes looks aggressive. Sometimes it might be aggressive, to be honest about it. But there is a whole lot worse things than being aggressive about some truth, right? Hey, if somebody looks like a wolf, talks like a wolf, and walks like a wolf, and you say, hey, this is wolf behavior, and you get cast out, then so be it. Sometimes it be that way. However, it still ain't about hate. It's about loving God, and it's about loving your neighbor. And learning to walk in a spirit of forgiveness, because in this day and time especially, all kinds of evil are going to come at you. False prophets, false teachers, and such. And what I mean by that, for me, is people who are really preaching their own glory, more or less. Preaching to be seen by men, preaching to toot their own horn, and pushing away anybody that questions them, because we all have a different idea on how some things are translated, and those are translation or interpretation challenges. All right, and it's hard to whatever, and so you just do your best on the grand scheme of things from an educated level. But Jesus made it simple to love Him, to follow Him. If that's in your heart, everything else is secondary, right? And it's not that you're trying to be the greatest person in the world or none of that stuff, but you're trying to be a child of God. And with that comes along fruit, and that fruit is love, and that fruit is truth, and that fruit is kindness, and it is gentleness. It is. But you look at Paul, sometimes he had to set his foot down, but he didn't do it to the demise of anybody. Never. Nobody was ever cast out. Even the worst possible thing I guess, that could have happened, or that's recorded, was that a young man was sleeping with his stepmom, and they did not cast him out per se, or isolate him for a year until he did it multiple times. When he wouldn't stop doing it, having an affair with his stepmother, that's when they isolated him. But it was just for a year, because it's not about casting people out, running them off. It's about, going through some tough times, getting through them, and still learning how to coexist whenever it's possible, right? And sometimes it's not. And sometimes there's a 1, 2, 3 step, and then, just go from there. What I mean by that is go to your brother, take him in front of somebody, and then third, take them in front of the congregation. If they still won't listen, you still can't reside it, then, you just have to turn your back and walk away, right? There's a place where you shake the dust off your feet. There's a place where you quit casting your pearls before swine. It is definitely a strange world. You can be fooled in an instant, but peace, right? There's a lot of deception going on in this entire world, from everywhere, from last administration, this administration. There's some good things and bad things, but let's let it be God things, right? We're going to try to do our best to follow the rules and not step outside the law, and honor God in doing so. Obedience is a must. Nobody perfectly obeys, but those who love Him strives to obey perfectly. You can strive perfectly. Yes, you can. And then some days it'll be easier than others, and some days it is what it is. Anyway, that's just a few thoughts, man. I hope you're encouraged today to renew your strength like the eagle. Run and not faint, and walk and not grow weary. Maybe that's what it is. Isaiah 40:31, I think, is what it is. I don't know. But it's a good one. And, those little nuggets, and just following Christ, Sermon on the Mount, be the salt, be the light, listen, if somebody gets you to doubt in your salvation or your walk with God, just say, Lord, I want to be real with you. I want to know that I know that I know. I don't want to be deceived by myself or by anybody else, or by some, lie or this and that. God, I want to be real. And if I'm not real, point it out in me. Cleanse me of it. Purge me. If my conversion was not real, Lord, let me know that I know that I know that I have been born again, because above all things, that's the most important thing, right? Jesus is good, and it's a beautiful sunny day here in Paragould, Arkansas. God bless.